I gave to Liana on the first day. You just say to her, Thandeka wants it back. That's all. Maybe when she's down there, I would like it back. Just say a glycolic acid pill or something. I did give it to her, I just don't want to anymore, and I'm throwing it out. Because she had some cheap stuff, I don't know what. And I was like, okay, you can have this one. I want it back. I'm done with the fuckery.
Now, finally, the real game playing has started. The real gameplay has begun as these housemates are going to be taking a new turn, a new leaf, and more better strategies on how to navigate their stay in Big Brother's house from now onwards. Most alliances might break, most friendship might be destroyed, and even relationships might be affected based off of the fact that everyone has to, one way or the other, protect themselves and make sure they see themselves till the end of the game. Now, of course, after the big fights between Thandeka and Liema, we had, housemates in the lounge having random conversations. Part of those were Dube and Cookie, and they were sitting down around the lounge, while the most around the dining part, those tables close to the kitchen, yeah, while the other housemates were sitting opposite at the lounge around the, couches and cushions or whatever, right? Those ones are having their random conversation, but Koki and Dube were talking about the fact that they kind of are worried about how Thandeka wants to navigate this week and even be able to escape being nominated up for eviction this week, because like she has offended a lot of people, she has been rude to people, she has done this or that. She needs to find a way to go have a conversation. They should just hash it out basically, yeah. And then hopefully when she's done, things work out for her. That is, people don't get to vote her, because at the moment a lot of the housemates don't really vibe or aren't really cool with Thandeka's vibe and all that. And then we noticed that Dube and Cookie were around the bathroom area where the mirror is, and they were having a conversation. Now this particular conversation was specifically about what Smash Africa asked, the question Smash Africa asked Dube, as related the power dynamic in the kitchen. And then Dube was like, he recalled why that conversation came up exactly. That when he and Ilano and Danae Jones are having a conversation about the kitchen stuff, and they called and tagged Trixie the kitchen police, the kitchen cop, because anytime any of them randomly goes to the kitchen for whatever, she polices them, even when things were still good in Big Brother's house. And that might get worse now that, they lost their first wager. And then we got to see a conversation between Mashel, Offense, Q, and Lorido. And it was specifically about the fact that they have a distaste, disappointment, and disagreement with the fact that Big Brother decided to give a second chance season. According to them, that the season of second chances was supposed to stand alone for people of second chances, not them who are still new and they're bringing people who have following, people who have a sense of backing, people who have money into the show, and they with no experience are going to be competing with those ones of experience. It was mostly Offense who was like, he's disappointed, he does not like it. I noticed when Mashel said, oh, I like Liema and all, but nah, I'm not really cool with the fact that they're back. They should have just stayed in their season. I mean, she has money. They have money. They should have just stayed in their season or have a special season for them. Offense went on to the point of indicating that, he and any other housemates could have the same chances and percentages of trying to win, but against the second chance people, for example, Liema, Mmeli, and who else? And Bravo B, that they don't really stand a huge chance, because these people have their own level of following before coming here. He went on to even threaten, directly or indirectly, Hugh, saying that if I notice you being close to them, talking to them, or getting to side with them, I'll just take a bag and give you to stay on your own and don't come close to me and all that. I'm like, Offense went on to even indicate that, in this game, he's only going to focus on the strong people. Those are the people he'll try to get out because this is what and that is that. And while this guy was talking, what struck my mind is the fact that this is the thing Big Brother is against. One of the general rules in Big Brother shows franchise is that housemates do not have the liberty of discussing um they don't have the liberty of discussing nomination strategies, because even if another person doesn't have it in mind or in notion of their thoughts to put another person at risk of nominations or evictions, you talking about you talking about that person to another person begins to plant the seed of discord, distaste, dislike, and intentions of dominating that person. I think Big Brother needs to look into this, because this is not supposed to be. This is a breach of the Big Brother laws, except if the season is different. But this is not supposed to be. They went on to, bash the T Queens, the coven that includes Trixie, Dene Jones, Liema, Ilano, and I think one more person, maybe it was Shia, yeah? And they're talking about how their love for Shia was fake. They really don't care about the girl, and everything they were doing was just nasty. I'm like, damn. These guys are doing exactly the same thing that they're claiming to bash these ladies to do. But I hope people that looks into this conversation about the nomination. And then we notice a conversation between Thandeka and Mmeli in the bid for her to cut all ties with having to have a conversation, with having to have a form of action, with having to pass the same place and be in the same circle of anything. Thandeka had begged, what's his name, Mmeli, to go and retrieve one of her stuff that is with Liema. So at the beginning of the show, within the first 2 days, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the first day or so, um, all in the bid to be a girl's girl, right? Liema saw something with Thandeka that was nice. I don't know if she indicated she wanted it or she just indicated how nice and beautiful that stuff was. So in order to be a girl's girl, Thandeka, who has probably more of that stuff or has this to spare, decided to gift it to Liema. But then after, sorry, after their altercation, after the eviction last night, Thandeka doesn't want to have anything in any way to do with Liema. So she was pleading with Mmeli that could he please later go and meet Liema based off of like, oh, it's like an appeal or something, to retrieve that stuff she had given Liema, because according to her, she doesn't want to have any ties, any connection with Liema. Let the, in quote, fuckery end where it is. She's not going to have a conversation with Liema. Even if Liema comes to come and apologize, she would not really agree to listen or accept, because that is obviously going to be a fake apology just for the apology's sake. You know what? And then when he collects it and gives her back, she's going to throw it away.